Is rebranding bad for Airsoft? While that sounds like somewhat of a dirty word that you wouldn't want to hear from a company, the amount of rebranding in Airsoft may surprise you. What's up, Airsofters? My name is Lane, and welcome to the BB Warrior. We're here to help you have a better time both on and off the airsofting field, and if you enjoy videos like this, I'd love to have you join our community by hitting the subscribe button down below, and while you're at it, make sure to hit the bell icon next to it for updates when we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday here on the channel. As well, we will be having a patch update at the end of the video, so if you bought a patch or you're interested in buying a patch to help support the growth and the quality of the channel, first off, thank you very much, but there will be an update at the end of the video. So, talking about rebranding, I think that it can be good and it can be bad for the airsofting community, and it really comes down to one thing: transparency. So first off, there are some things that are rebranded that a lot of people don't know about. And I think the most major thing is BBs. Now, scattered across all of Taiwan, there aren't BB factories everywhere. I mean, it just can't be supported by companies. There can't be an Elite Force, a G&G, a KWA, an ICS, a Novrich. There just can't be a ton of BB factories around Taiwan because, one, I'd imagine that equipment is very, very expensive to do the tooling for making their own BBs. And think about how many BB manufacturers that are out there. There are hundreds of different companies that make BBs. So obviously these companies sign an agreement with a company to have them make their BBs for them and put their label on it. And that is what rebranding is. So let's say I want to make an energy drink. So I contact Monster and I take their drink and I make this BB Warriors energy drink. And I sell it in my packaging and whatnot for my price. That's essentially what rebranding is, a very dumbed down version of rebranding. And this is fairly common in the airsofting industry, not just with BBs, but with motors. From what I heard from someone who works in airsoft production, I'm not going to name their name in this video because they probably don't want me to, but there are only 3 manufacturers of motors for airsoft guns. So all of these companies, even the really high-end ones like VFC and KWA, Crytek, GMP, I should say, everyone contracts out to these 3 companies for motors, and then they slap their own name on it. So again, with BBs, this is a very specialized piece of equipment. I personally believe it's the most complex part of a gearbox, because with a gears or a piston or the body, you can just cast that stuff out of aluminum or steel or however you make your products. I don't work for an airsoft manufacturer. I don't work in the factories, so I don't know how they make all these pieces. I know that a lot of people do cast aluminum bodies, but you can't have everyone making their own motors because it's a very costly and very time-consuming endeavor, I'd imagine, for a very specialized product. So they contract it out to people who already make it, and I'd imagine that those people make a killing. Now, there are some more well-known examples of rebranding in the airsofting community, and the first one I want to mention is the Echo One Red Star line. Now, all of Echo One is a rebrand. Echo One doesn't make their own airsoft guns, and so doesn't the company we're going to mention in a minute. But I think that the one that they're most famous for is the Red Star line. The Echo One Red Star line was a rebranded CYMA. However, Echo One did some upgrades to it, and they were very transparent with the fact that it was a CYMA. So they took a CYMA that had their real wood furniture, if that was the type of model you're going for, like an AKM. They made sure they had the metal body, and then what they would do is you would get a battery and charger, you'd get 2 high caps, which I believe those 4 items were already included with the CYMA, and then they also threw in a Mad Bull hop-up in there. And I think that that was a great idea because that's one of those upgrades that you can immediately tell the performance increase in it. And it was less than if you did it yourself. And on top of that, because the Echo One Red Star line, in my opinion, was more marketed towards the beginner player base because they're only in that like $150 to $200 range. And I think the reason why this doesn't happen anymore, at least in my personal opinion, is because the $150 to $300 range has really exploded in the last few years. I mean, every company makes a pretty good gun in that $150 to $300 range now, and this will be its own video at some point. But it just doesn't make sense for someone to do that anymore, and I kind of understand why it stopped, because again, in the last 5 years ago, there's been this huge transformation in airsoft where people are being able to get into the sport and get better equipment. Like I remember when I first started getting into Airsoft and I couldn't afford to go out and buy a VFC or KWA or GMP because those were the three main brands back in the day. I got this really crappy like JG-esque gun, and now like I don't even think that JG exists anymore. And if they do, their guns are probably like $100, I believe. I haven't looked at them in forever, obviously, but the range for that $150 to $300 range has really exploded in the last few years. And again, this will be its own video, so I'm going to try to get off of that. But I think the next company that's a great example of how rebranding can be good is Umarex and Elite Force. Now, Elite Force, just like the other examples, don't make their own products. They don't make their own BBs, they don't make their own airsoft guns, even the ones that are branded under them. They don't make their slings or their dead rags either. I believe Voodoo Tactical makes those. But that's not a bad thing, because Elite Force is very open about it, at least for their guns, who makes it. And I think that for motors and BBs, I understand why companies don't say that, because the company that makes those products for them doesn't have very good brand awareness. I'm pretty sure those companies have never been heard of by anyone in the US except for people that work in that industry. So I understand why they don't announce that. But for guns, Elite Force is very open about it. And like they'll say this is made by VFC, this is made by Ares. I believe KWA still makes some of their gas blowback guns and the G36 for them. But I'm personally a fan of companies that will tell me who makes their product, who is the OEM, because it implies that they are confident enough in that manufacturer to tell you that. Because one, it's going to be a high enough quality, and two, they can really bank on you knowing that that company makes good products. Like when Elite Force says, yes, this gun is made by VFC, everyone knows that VFC makes pretty good airsoft guns. I mean, not just the Avalon, but their 416, their other ARs, and I don't think they make AKs anymore, but those are pretty good AKs. And everyone knows that VFC makes a good product, and Elite Force can bank on that and say, this is made by VFC, and that answers your question of how good is this product. Like, back in the day, I didn't really know about Elite Force. Like, I knew that they existed, but I didn't know their quality or anything like that. And then when I was looking for guns, like, stupid fact about me, when I was looking to get my 416, I thought that the Elite Force and the VFC 416 were different guns. And I was really pissed off that I couldn't find the VFC one on e-bike anymore, only the Elite Force. Then one day I found out, and I was like, oh wow, I feel pretty stupid. But I think that rebranding can be very good when a company is open about it, because if they're open about it, they have a I've completely lost my train of thought. They are confident in the brand that they're choosing for their rebrand. Whereas where I believe the bad side of rebranding can start is when a company is going for like electronics from someone and they're afraid to say the OEM. And I think part of it can be that no one's going to know the company if they do announce it. But I think it can be a little shady because you don't know where that part is coming from. Because let's say, picking on Evike for a moment, Matrix. I don't like to buy anything from Matrix because I don't know who made it, and I don't know the quality that it's made to. So motors, internals, anything like that, because they could switch factories at one point, and I wouldn't know the less. And you could get, I think that's part of where like bad batches of BBs come from, is a mistake at the factory, obviously. But I don't like to trust companies like that, especially with stuff like motors and electronics, because there was a video a few years ago, I don't even remember where I saw it. It was here on YouTube, but a guy had some rebranded batteries in his gun. He had some knockoff 123As, or CR123As, and his flashlight exploded in the middle of a game. Like, fragments went into him, I believe. And that is scary as hell, because knowing that this low-quality battery just exploded in the dude's flashlight and destroyed it and probably got acid on him or something, that's terrifying to me. So I don't like to trust any electronics unless it's from a company that I know well, or a company that has a track record for making good things. However, these knockoff companies and these rebrand companies that only rebrand, like Matrix, and they're afraid to tell you who makes the gun, that's a little concerning to me. And I personally stray away from that. You guys might not. You guys may have good experience with companies like Matrix, again, to pick on Evike, but I like to stay clear of it, and I would advise that you guys do, because you never know what you're going to get. You can't really count on the quality of something because they're afraid to put the brand name behind it. They just sticker their logo on it, and that's the end of it. But I want to know what you guys think of rebranding in Airsoft. Do you think that it's good? Do you think that it's bad? Make sure to let me know down in the comments below. I love discussing things with you guys after these videos, and it really does mean the world to me. But time for the patch update. The patches are coming along fantastically from Who Shot First. Like I said I believe when I announced it, we're probably going to be expecting these the end of the month or the first week of August. As soon as I get them, I will tell you guys. I don't have any photos today. I completely forgot to ask for an update, or not an update, but photos of some of the patches. I completely forgot to do that. But as soon as I get some photos of those, I'll probably do another patch update in the next video here on the channel. But thank you guys very much for supporting the channel by buying a patch. If you're unfamiliar, the patches are a way to help improve the quality of the videos that we do here on the channel, because I really want to be able to do a more professional looking video for you guys. I want to be able to be more in depth with the videos here, and YouTube is not my job. So while a lot of things come out of pocket from me, like the lights behind me, or the camera I'm using right now, or the microphone, this is a lot of semi-expensive stuff. So if you could buy a patch and help support the channel, thank you very much. If you can't, thank you for watching the videos. It really does mean the world to me. Besides just physical equipment, I have been working with my camera technique and my lighting technique to make videos better. If you haven't noticed, in a lot of my indoor videos, I've been having too much light, and my face can kind of get blurred in with the background here because I'm such a pale person. So I think that I'm probably going to be going with a black backdrop. However, I have been working with my lighting structure and things like that. I mean, I'm in a place right now. I mean, this is a curtain, so I have to like set this stuff up every time I go to shoot a video. I don't have like a set place right now. I will, once we get the patches in and I'm able to buy some of the equipment, I will have a dedicated studio. I can just leave everything there and not have to reset everything every day. But pretty much what I've been doing, I go to work every day. I come home, I either make videos, edit videos, or learn how to make the videos better. So I've been doing a lot of research for lighting. I think my issue has been that my lights have been too close to me. They're at maybe like a foot behind the camera, and I think that it was just flooding me with light to the point where I kind of blended in here. Hopefully this video came out better, but I'm just trying new things. So besides just actual physical equipment, I've really been trying to up my game, learning as much as I can. I mean, I'm not a huge DSLR buff, so I'm admittedly not perfect with the camera. I'm still trying to figure out my white balance and things like that. But besides just actual equipment, I've really been trying to improve the quality with the camera and the lights and everything. And knowing that you guys are supporting me just by watching the videos does mean a lot to me. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to follow me on social media. I will have links for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter down in the description below. This has been Lane from the BB Warrior, talking about rebranding in Airsoft and whether it can be good or bad, and I will see you all next time.